the number one tip is that you're going to have a different audience than you actually do everywhere else. So I'm a best-selling author. I was on the second stage of the main TED conference, and I've done 3 TEDx talks. I had quite a few followers on Twitter before I left Twitter about a year ago. Like, I already have my so-called brand. When I went to YouTube, I was starting over again. And so no one had heard about my best-selling books. Nobody had seen me on the stage. No one knew me as a business coach. And so the number one thing I think is to realize you're going to be kind of starting over again. It's kind of like going from Twitter to Facebook to, say, TikTok, right? Like, you're kind of building it all over again. You might bring some people over, but each of those communities are very unique. Um, if you go to bringingworth.tv, or if you go to youtube.com/browndamer, whatever works easier for you, there's a little tab that says community. You click on the community tab, and YouTube has its own social media. And so I'm able to interact with my 18,000 plus folks that subscribe every moment of the day when a new video comes out, even with my new book coming out in October. And so the number one rule is that you have to kind of treat it like another, I'm not big on social media, but almost like another social media platform where you're going to be starting over again. So no matter what success or cloud or whatever you have elsewhere, I mean, that's why it took me 2 years. I couldn't take this cloud from over here and dump it over there. So it's going to take a little while to kind of establish that in YouTube. I'd say that would be the number one tip.
Wow. So treat it differently. Understand you're starting over and know that you could have 50 subscribers for almost 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I did hit 600. So, I mean, I 10X technically, but it wasn't,
Well, I mean, look, after doing something for 2 years, 600, that's still not a lot. Right? I mean, that's not a lot. No. Let's be honest, right?
And I think it's also too that you have to be aware of whatever environment's happening there. So a middle-aged African-American man who's talking about entrepreneurship, talking about passive income, and how you can grow as a side hustle or solopreneur or otherwise a non-traditional entrepreneur. So I'm not like the hottest thing on the platform. I'm not the coolest person on TikTok.
You weren't talking about crypto or NFTs or
I'm not right. Crypto's great. Just I don't talk about it.
Club. You wouldn't
right. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm not doing pranks. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, a very young millennial or whatever that new generation is coming up. Like I'm not that. And so it took a while to kind of build up that steam too. But I would say I found that in all my vocations, even as far as the startup world and the startups that I was pursuing, VCs weren't, hurrying to call me back. But I knew what my communities needed, and that eventually led to the success of my last startup, Cuddler. But we were getting laughed at and misunderstood the whole way. And that's kind of, at least for me, that's kind of how it works. For a lot of people that I coach, that's how it works. Because, we're building for particular communities. I mean, James, you understand that. Like, you're building for specific communities, and everybody's going to get that wave. And so it might take a little bit longer, no matter what platform you're on, to get that community together. But once you do, though, I have people that really rock with me and look forward to the shows. So I'm thankful for that.
So what inspired you to keep going when you only had a few followers? Like, how did you push through that to keep going? Or was there something that you said, maybe I should try and do something differently? Like, what was that for you?
Yeah, I tried a few different things. I think my first approach is trusting that there was an audience for it. And I think that might be the strongest benefit you have. Like, if you're just starting a YouTube channel or even on another one of the video platforms, and you don't know if your audience is there, that makes it really hard. For me, again, I already got the best-selling books. I already do a lot of public speaking. I coach a lot of people, so I already know what I'm delivering has a place. So it's a matter of being patient enough for the particular technology, for that particular audience to notice what I'm trying to do. And that requires
so how do you get them to notice you?
Time. Yeah, I'd say that would be the number one thing is time. When my channel really did the hockey stick, which was February this year of 2023. And I remember you have this app called the YouTube app, not the one that you watch YouTube
Mhm.
on, but like it's called
Mhm.
YouTube Studio. So you can,
Okay.
as a creator.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I remember going to sleep. I usually turn my phone off except for my alarm, but I forgot to turn my phone off. And I woke up and I just kept on hearing buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. And a few of the videos that I did took off. Took off as in I had one day in February where I had 1.3 million views. And then if you think about 1% of those people subscribing, then it makes it really easy to understand how I got to where I'm at now.
Mhm.
But it took that much persistence to do that. And I didn't hit that hockey stick until probably about 300 videos in.
And you're saying that
Seriously.
just happened. There was nothing you did other than produce 300 videos. Like that's nothing.
Well,
And
no, there's a little bit more than that. So, so it wasn't just luck.
so
Persistence,
what
I
did you
think, is
do
the
before
number
you
one
went to
thing,
bed
though.
that night that had your phone pinging like crazy?
What's that?
What did you do before you went to bed that night that had your phone pinging like crazy?
One of the videos took off, and
Did you on
at
its
at
own?
that
Did you
point,
do something?
I think I just improved. And so I think that's kind of the secret sauce I'm kind of implying that I think we tend to forget. My 350th video is going to happen this week. It's going to be way more better, way more better than
Be
my
way better.
250th
Right.
episode that I did a year ago. So I'm actually improving as an editor, as a creator, as a host, as an orator. The stories I tell, I know what my community needs. The community section's way more popping now. So they're giving me feedback like, no, you got this
Mm,
fact wrong. It happened with
mm,
this. No, I really want a video about this, but you talked about this. I want that instead. So
mm.
it's almost like
Okay.
you have to look at like a curation,
Mhm.
and you're becoming a better curator along the way.